Welcome back to Shadow Warefare, the channel where we uncover hidden spiritual realities, expose dark tactics that operate behind the scenes, and equip you with the knowledge to protect your life, your home, and your family. On this channel, we talk about spiritual warfare, hidden practices many people never realize are influencing their lives, and the truth that many former practitioners say most people are never told. Today's topic is one that may surprise you. It may even make you look differently at your own home. Because according to testimonies from people who once practiced witchcraft and later left that life, there are certain things many people keep in their homes that actually make spiritual attacks easier. In fact, some former practitioners claim witches are thankful when they see these things in someone's home because it gives them access, influence, or an open door. Now, before we go deeper, ask yourself something honestly. Have you ever felt a strange heaviness in your home that you couldn't explain? Have you ever noticed unusual tension, constant bad dreams, unexplained fear, or a feeling like your peace keeps getting disturbed for no clear reason? Some people believe these things are just coincidence, but others believe that sometimes, unknowingly, people allow certain objects or habits into their homes that create spiritual vulnerability. Tonight, we're going to talk about 3 specific things that many people keep inside their homes without realizing the spiritual impact they may carry. According to testimonies from ex-witches and former occult practitioners, these 3 things can act like silent invitations, not because the person keeping them intends harm, but simply because they do not know the deeper meaning or symbolism connected to them. But here is the important part. The goal of this message is not fear. The goal is awareness, because once you understand how spiritual doors open, you also learn how to close them. So stay with me until the end of this message. What you hear may completely change how you see the spiritual atmosphere of your own home. Your own home. Many former practitioners say that spiritual influence rarely begins with dramatic rituals or obvious signs. Instead, it often begins quietly, through symbols, through objects, through habits that slowly shape the spiritual environment around a person. A home is not just a building made of walls and furniture. A home carries energy, influence, and atmosphere. Think about how different homes feel when you walk into them. Some places feel peaceful immediately. Others feel heavy, tense, or uncomfortable, even if everything looks normal on the surface. Former practitioners often say that certain items can act like anchors that hold specific types of spiritual influence inside a house. When those items remain there for long periods, they shape the environment in ways the homeowner may never notice. The first thing many ex-witches talk about is objects connected to dark symbolism or unknown spiritual origins. These can include decorations, statues, symbols, or artwork that people buy simply because they look interesting or fashionable. But sometimes these objects carry meanings connected to occult traditions or spiritual practices that the buyer never understood. In many spiritual traditions, symbols are not just decorations. They are believed to represent ideas, powers, or forces. Practitioners of certain rituals sometimes use symbols as spiritual markers. When similar symbols are placed in a home, some believe they can act as signals or spiritual permission points. Many people decorate their homes with objects from different cultures without knowing the original meaning behind them. Some statues or images are connected to ancient rituals or spiritual practices that were originally used for worship invocation, or spiritual communication, Former practitioners claim that when such items sit in a home, they can subtly influence the spiritual atmosphere of that environment, not because the homeowner intends to participate in those traditions, but because the symbol itself still represents something deeper. And this is one reason some ex-witches say practitioners quietly appreciate when people keep unknown spiritual symbols inside their homes. From their perspective, those objects already create familiarity with certain energies or spiritual ideas. But the second thing many ex-witches mention may be even more common in modern homes, and that is objects connected to fear, darkness, or fascination with the occult. Think about how popular dark imagery has become in entertainment and decoration. Skulls, ritual symbols, mystical objects, tarot imagery, spirit boards, and many other items are sold openly in stores and online markets as aesthetic decorations. To many people, these things are simply part of modern culture or style, our style. But some former practitioners say that fascination with these themes can slowly normalize darker spiritual ideas within a household. When a home constantly displays symbols connected to darkness, fear, or supernatural power, it can shape the mindset of the people living there. It can create curiosity about spiritual practices that are not always harmless. Some ex-witches say practitioners view this curiosity as a starting point. Because once someone becomes interested in mystical power or hidden knowledge, they may begin exploring practices without fully understanding what they are stepping into. The third thing that former practitioners often say witches are thankful for is something that might surprise many people. And that is a home environment filled with constant negative emotion. Anger, bitterness, jealousy, unforgiveness, fear. According to many spiritual traditions, emotions carry energy. When a home is constantly filled with arguments, resentment, or emotional tension, the atmosphere becomes heavy. Former practitioners often say that environments filled with prolonged negativity create what they describe as spiritual openings, not through objects but through emotional patterns. When people live in constant anger or resentment, their mental and emotional defenses become weaker. They feel drained. Their peace disappears, and their sense of spiritual clarity fades. Ex-witch testimonies often describe this as one of the easiest ways for negative spiritual influence to grow around a person. Because when peace is gone, a person becomes more vulnerable to fear, confusion, and destructive decisions. Some practitioners reportedly even attempt to create situations that lead to arguments or division within families, because they believe emotional chaos weakens spiritual protection. Whether someone believes these claims or not, there is a powerful lesson hidden inside this idea. Peace protects. A home filled with calmness, forgiveness, kindness, and unity creates an atmosphere where negativity struggles to remain. Many people focus only on removing physical objects when they think about spiritual protection. But emotional atmosphere may be even more powerful than decoration. Former practitioners often say the homes that were hardest to influence were the homes where people consistently practiced prayer, gratitude, kindness, and emotional self-control. In those environments, even if someone attempted spiritual interference, it rarely lasted long because the atmosphere itself resisted it. This is why many spiritual teachers emphasize that protecting a home is not just about removing certain objects. It is about creating an environment where darkness has no comfortable place to stay. Think about the power of a peaceful household when family members respect each other, when forgiveness is practiced, when fear does not dominate conversations. When people encourage each other rather than tear each other down. That type of environment becomes strong in ways many people do not even realize. Many former practitioners say that homes filled with sincere prayer or spiritual devotion were the most difficult places to influence. Why? Because those homes already carried a strong spiritual presence that pushed away negativity. Instead of fear, there was faith. Instead of chaos, there was order. Instead of anger, there was understanding. And that environment created a natural shield. So when we talk about the 3 things witches are thankful for, the deeper lesson is not about fear of objects. The deeper lesson is awareness. Awareness about what influences we allow inside our homes. Awareness about the atmosphere we create through our emotions. Awareness about the symbols and ideas we surround ourselves with. Every home is shaping the mindset and spiritual condition of the people living inside it. Every object, every conversation, every habit contributes to the environment being built day after day. The good news is that every person has the ability to change the atmosphere of their home. If there are objects that create discomfort or carry meanings you do not agree with, you can remove them. If the emotional environment has been filled with tension, you can begin rebuilding peace through patience and forgiveness. If curiosity about dark spiritual practices has been growing, you can replace it with knowledge that strengthens your mind and spirit instead. Your home should be a place of safety, clarity, and strength. A place where your mind can rest. A place where your family can grow without fear. A place where positive influence becomes stronger every day. Former practitioners often say the biggest advantage darkness has is ignorance. Not knowing how influence begins. Not recognizing how small things shape larger patterns. But once knowledge enters the picture, many of those advantages disappear, because awareness leads to wise decisions. Wise decisions lead to stronger protection, and stronger protection leads to peace. So take a moment tonight and think about the atmosphere of your home. What objects surround you every day? What emotions dominate your household? What conversations shape the environment your family lives in? You may discover that small changes can create powerful transformation. Remember that your home belongs to you. Its atmosphere reflects the choices you make inside it. And when those choices are guided by wisdom, peace, and spiritual strength, no hidden influence can easily remain. Thank you for being part of the Shadow Warefare community. If this message made you think differently about the spiritual environment around you, share it with someone who might need this awareness as well. Because sometimes the most powerful protection begins with simply understanding what was once hidden.